All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. You ready for some high-speed action tonight? Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Montreal, baby. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. Sim Racing Mania heads to the street circuit. Montreal. I don't know how to say that, man. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I don't know how to speak French. All I know is this track is massive hard. So, hey, it's going to be a great race tonight here. Sim Racing Mania. Race number 7 in that season. These guys are getting ready to light it up. You can only see it live right here on TurnLeftTV. Well, it's the street circuit located in Montreal, Canada, and this bad boy will just reach out and bite you. Who's going to take home the victory? We're going to find out tonight right here on TurnLeftTV. All right, thank you so much for joining us here on TurnLeftTV. Appreciate you being here. So excited to bring you a great race here tonight at Montreal. Great little road course. And a very challenging road course. These guys right now are in the qualification session. Driver's still doing some qualification lap. We'll take a look at the track here at Montreal, located in Quebec. Asphalt course, street circuit there, 4.361 kilometers in length, and then 2.71 miles, 14 turns. Very, very challenging. High speed, but some very, very technical portions of the track too. Not a lot of room here for mistakes. You got some areas with a little bit of overrun, but you got walls very, very tight on both sides of the track on many, many parts of this track. So definitely race the track. You're going to have some opportunities to pass, but you're going to have to pick and choose very, very carefully at this track. We'll take a look at the schedule here. Of course, this is race number 7 in the season. 60-minute race tonight. Next week, a little bit of a reboot of the Watkins Glen race from the beginning of the season. But 60-minute race there coming up on July the 7th, and then finishing out the season at Indy, the Indy 500 on July the 14th. That's home for me. I'm about 40 miles away from Indy, and 200 lapper there. So I'll definitely be there, that's for sure. Might have a few beverages before the show. Who knows? Just coffee and Coke, man, and maybe a little bit of water. But hey, thanks so much. Been an exciting season so far, man. We've had a great season, and I would suggest you that these tonight and the next 2 races are going to be just flat out insane. Got a couple minutes left here in the qualification session. You guys join us in the chat there, Forever West Live. Paulo, big PT joining us. See PT out. Hopefully he's working hard on those tracks I sent him. I'm looking at you right now, PT. Well, thanks so much for joining me here in the chat session. Always appreciate people coming out. Thanks so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I encourage you to do so. It's just right there if you didn't see it. And then if you'd like to make a donation to TurnLeftTV, you can click on the link up in the banner of the channel and make a donation straight through PayPal. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here, and then you can share my videos with all of your friends. Peace to everybody. Hope everybody's being cool, being kind, being patient with one another, and enjoying life as much as you can right now. I got to find those things this time of life, I think, that make you happy and keep you grounded, to keep you sane. And again, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me here on TurnLeftTV. Looks like we might have a 50 seconds left here, so in the qualification session. So we pretty much have got that grid tightened up. Look at there, Cliff Vandeven is the top time, 1:20.416. Lightning fast time there from Cliff Vandeven. Don't forget, coming up on Friday, we'll be back in action with High Octane Racing League's Bushwhackers Series. Little stock car action on a Friday night. Race number 3. Phoenix International. Great track there, 120 laps. And the first 2 races of the season have just been flat out great. I'm excited about this one. If you'd like to join High Octane Racing League, you can look them up on Discord there. Discord address right here on the banner, so type that in. That's an open invitation to join HORL for a little stock car action. A great view, isn't it? Take a look at the session results here. Cliff Vandeven will start on the pole, 1:20.416. Lorenzo Capellini starts in the 2nd position. Ricardo Morelli starts P3. P4 will be Paul Holt. Michael Brooks will be P5. Thomas Dolom starts in 6th. Fabio Zerbeto P7. Rick Vandervelden starts in P8. Giacomo Lapadula P9. And rounding out the top 10, Rory Cameron Martin. Take a look 11th through 17th. Dennis Vandeven starts in the 11th position. Colin Madiak 12th. David DePoli 13th. Dino Feldetta starts in the 14th position. Lorenzo Finetto 15th. Jordan Ford starts in the 16th position. And in 17th is Dan Richter. Take a look at our side-by-side. Make sure that's working just fine. Looks like it is. We got to get a few things up there, but other than that, looks like it's looking pretty slick. Nitro Toga in here. JT says, someone hook me up with a road setup for these cars, please. Like I got 7 minutes left, 8 minutes left almost in the practice session. Again, thank you so much for coming in. This is little Montreal road course, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I don't speak French. Hopefully I got that somewhat close. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, the broadcaster, the commentator, the guy you want to beat if things go awry, not on the track. Hey, I'm not to blame for that. I'm just to blame for the broadcast stuff. So, got a lot going on here. Tommy D said he's not racing tonight. But again, hey, thanks so much for joining us. This is round number 7. It's June the 30th, isn't it? Oh my gosh, man. June's almost over. Oof. Gilles Villeneuve. Yeah. Syncing up our cameras here, making sure everything's working fine. Looks like it is. Apex modding team joining us in here again. Good to see them in here. Again, great job on that mod. Fantastic job. We have about 5 minutes left to go. That'll be a perfect time for me to play a little video. All right, about 2.5 minutes left to go. Before we kick this baby off. I don't know who's going to win this bad boy tonight. Who is going to win this? I'm going to go with Cliff Vandeven. That's who I'm picking to win this race here tonight. So now I want to say I'm not rooting for anybody in particular. I'm just saying, hey, this is the guy I think is going to win it. So Cliff Vandeven is my pick. There's my pick. I'm typing it in now, getting it out there. Put myself out on the limb. Again, hey, thanks so much for coming in. Peace to everybody. Hope you're enjoying life right now. It's hotter than fire right now in Indiana, man. Staying inside. The dog is like, sent the dog out to do her business. She looked at me and was like, you expect me to go out in this stuff? Apex Modding team is picking Thomas to win this race. Good pick. It's a solid pick. So just a little under a minute left before we get the command to start the engines. Get these drivers on the grid. So a 60-minute race here tonight at Montreal Circuit. Gilles Villeneuve. I have no idea. It's something like that. It's a street circuit in Montreal, Canada, Quebec. 60-minute race here tonight. Race number 7. This bad boy is gonna be wild. Gonna be wild. I promise you that. All right, boys and girls, I think it is that time.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
All right, we will take a look at the starting order here tonight. Get that guy out there on the grid. Cliff Vandeven starts on the pole. Lorenzo Capellini second. Riccardo Morelli third. I missed the fourth guy. Who was that? Let's do that again. Such a amateur. Cliff Vandeven starts on the pole. Lorenzo Capellini second. Riccardo Morelli starts in P3. Paul Holt P4. Michael Brooks starts P5. Thomas Golab P6. Fabio Zerbeto P7. Rick Vander Velden starts in P8. Giacomo Lapidula P9. Rory Martin P10. Dennis Vandeven starts in 11th. Colin Madiak 12th. David DePoli 13th, Dino Faldetta 14th, Lorenzo Finetto starts in the 15th position, Jordan Schwartz starts in 16th. In 17th is Dan Richter. I don't know what happened, man. Gotta check it out here, see what's going on. Oh, they're going back to warm up here, so like they've had a little bit of a server hitch. Maybe some guys got disconnected there once they flipped over. That's been known to happen. with rFactor 2. I think we all know what that's all about. The guys getting some warm-up in here. Massimo Martin said he's a spectator tonight. No, Massimo. How do you say very bad in Italian? No, in Spanish is muy malo. Guess you, it's probably something similar. Muy malo. So it does look like there were some disconnects here, so a little bit of disconnects here, so guys are getting some extra practice in. A little bit of side-by-side action there. Looks like Colin Maniac there having a little battle there in the warm-up session. How about that, man? There's a three-way battle there on that lower right screen. And again, don't forget, coming up on Friday, we got another great race for you. High Octane Racing League's Bushwhacker Series, a little Xfinity stock car action, 120 laps from Phoenix. Race number 3 in that 2020 summer season. Should be a great one, and it'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Congratulations to Ben Silva for winning the race last night at Spa-Francorchamps. Race number 2 of that 2020 season of the DTM series, and had a great race. Good job to Ben Silva, and congratulations to him. Sure the replay was synced up there. We'll take a look and see if it is. A little bit of spinning around for get the command to go back to the car. So the drivers were in their cars. They got called back. Got called back to the garage area. Somebody had to pee, I think. So waiting on a couple drivers here to join back. It looks like, I think we had 17, so it looks like we are waiting on one driver to join. There's Dan Richter here. All right, hey, there we go. We got some. I think we're at it. Oh, I'll be darned. Let's hope everybody stays in the server this time. Doesn't get kicked. All right, 60 minutes here from Montreal. Great road course, very exciting, and I tell you what, man, this is going to be just a flat-out action for 60 minutes. Be nice if we knew where the driver was. Wait until the last second here to get on the grid, it looks like. Again, going through the starting order here. Are they started from a standing start? I don't think they are they? 1 through 4 there. Michael Brooks, P5. Thomas Golom starts in P6. Fabio Zerbato, P7. Rick Vandervelden, P8. Giacomo Lapadula, P9. Rory Cameron Martin rounding out the top 10. Dennis Vandeven, 11th. Colin Madiak, 12th. David DePoli, 13th. Dino Faldetta, 14th. Lorenzo Fanetta, 15th. Jordan Schwartz, 16th. Dan Richter there starting at the tail of the field. All right, boys and girls, it is that time. Time to get this bad boy going here. So thank you so much for coming in. And I'm excited about this, man. Great track. Very tough track. Jair Oliveira joining us in the chat as well. Cliff Vandeven, our pole setter here. And this is going to get fast and furious in a hurry. Looks like we did lose one driver for who that was, but we went through the grid there. It showed 17 drivers in the starting order, but nonetheless, it is what it is now. All right. Cliff Vandeven will lead the field to take this green flag. Lorenzo Capellini second. I'd say just tuck in, get the thing started. Going to start double wide here, but tuck in, settle in. Get your feet underneath you here and then start racing because you just got to survive this start. I really think this can be very, very challenging. We've seen this in the other tracks here this season. Can be very, very challenging at the start. A lot of guys get bunched up trying to vie for positions. You get guys spin around, cold tires, tight quarters, and a lot can go wrong in a hurry here. Well, hopefully we have a good, clean start. Here we go. Green, green, green. Clean start here so far. Vandeven headed into turn 1 now through turn 2. Lorenzo Capellini follows along there in the second position. Looking out of the front of Lorenzo Capellini's machine, running in P2. This is the track you really got to concentrate on racing this track. I mean, you got some very, very high speed sections of the track, but then again, you've got some tight turns as well. Thomas Golom here running in P5. Just behind him in P6 is Michael Brooks. Those guys, a very, very tight battle for that championship as well. Looking out of the back of Michael Brooks' machine. Fabio Zerbato, Rick Vandervelden. The battle between those two guys side by side, and it looks like Rick Vandervelden going to take that spot. Fabio Zerbato tucking in. Get out of the front of Fabio's machine at Rick Vandervelden. That's going to be a challenging portion of the track once these tires start to wear out a little bit. David DePoli, Dennis Vandeven racing for position. Take a look at this pass here. David DePoli. Oh, a little bit of contact right there as David DePoli muscles his way through. Dennis Vandeven now back to the 12th position. Look at Lorenzo Capellini running in the second position. Riccardo Morelli running in third, starting to track down. Oh, he cuts the course there just a little bit. He missed that turn over the rumble strips there. Riccardo Morelli running in the P3. Paul Holt running in the fourth position. Take a look at this. Fabio Zerbato, Rick Vandervelden battling for position. Fabio on that outside line in this turn. Yeah, that was tough, man. Rick Vandervelden taking that position back. So Fabio had gained that seventh position, but Vandervelden gained that spot back. David DePoli here running in the 16th position. Oh, and he comes around! He might have downshifted there, lost the back end of that car. David DePoli comes off track. Now trying to get that car straightened back up, get back on track. So it did look like that maybe he might have missed a shift here coming into the turn. And the back end of that thing broke loose. And he fortunately keeps that thing out of the wall, but he does lose a lot of position. Colin Madiak. Oh, man, he gets into David DePoli there. David DePoli missed that turn, came around, and Colin Madiak makes contact with him and picks up a spot. But David DePoli spun that car. We're going on board here with David DePoli, and he's just going to miss this turn coming up. Just things break loose for him, and then contact right there with Colin Madiak. David DePoli there trying to get that thing straightened back up. Probably has a little bit of damage to that machine. Cliff Vandervelden continuing to lead the field. Renzo Capellini second, Riccardo Morelli third, Paul Holt in the fourth position. Thomas Golom rounding out the top five. We'll take a look at him in P5 right now. Take a look at the season standings coming into tonight there. Thomas Golom, 179 points, followed by Michael Brooks. Colin Madiak, 169 points in third. Paul Holt fourth. And Cliff Vandervelden in the fifth position. Thomas having a good night here, running in P5 right now. Take a look at Dino Faldetta here having a battle with Jordan Schwartz. Good side-by-side battle there. Oh, Dino missing that turn. He got shoved there a little bit off the course. And Jordan Schwartz going to get that spot back. But, man, that I think, started a little bit earlier here. We'll take a look. Dino on the outside line on this turn. And then, oh, contact right there to get shoved off the course. And he jumps the curb. Jumps the curb there. We'll take a look at this again. This is a little bit earlier even as Jordan Schwartz. Dino missed that turn as well. Jordan Schwartz there running behind Dino Faldetta. So this is that battle there leading into a chicane. And it gets tight right here in this turn. And these guys get together. So a little contact right there. And then Dino Faldetta jumping this rumble strip. Oh, a little bit of bump in the air. I'll give him a 9.0 on that jump. But a good battle there. Dennis Vandervelden and Lorenzo Capellini. Actually, that's the Lorenzo Finetto, I believe. Having a battle there. That is for the 15th position as Dennis Vandervelden picks up P15. Rick Vandervelden. Here heading into the turn. Oh, and the thing breaks loose on him. 24 car there backwards. He's going to have to get that thing straightened back up. Good thing for him is it doesn't look like he got any damage there. Maybe some undercarriage damage or running over those rumble strips. So a little bit of mistake there by Rick Vandervelde, and he is now back to the 9th position. Rory Martin and Rick Vandervelde. Well, Rick Vandervelde came off track, I think, and Rory Martin takes that spot. You see Vandervelde get back on track here. We'll take a look at this again. See, this is see him get off track right there, and then Rory Martin goes pick up the spot as he gets back out on track. Renzo Finetto here trying to pick up a spot as looks like Dennis Van de Ven's come around. We'll take a look and see what happened to Dennis Van de Ven coming into the turn, and then it just loses the back end of that car, spins around, but does not get into the wall. That's good news for him, but he is going to lose the position. Lorenzo Finetto pick out P15. And out of the front of Thomas Golem's machine as he's starting to work on Paul Holt in 4th position. Thomas running in P5 right now. God, been a pretty clean race here for the most part. I think it's been a really, really clean race. Take a look at Riccardo Morelli here running in the 3rd position. Having a good night here. Good top 3 run for Riccardo Morelli. Michael Brooks here running in P6. In 2nd in points coming into tonight. Want to get a good finish here. Stay out of trouble. Keep that car clean. Right now running in 6th position. Fabio Zerbato running in the 7th spot. Another guy here itching for a good night tonight. Take a look at Dan Richter. Oh, Dan Richter gets into the gas there. Oh, a little bit too soon and gets into the wall. Well, I'm not sure what happened there. On board here with Dan Richter, and we got looks like Jordan Schwartz came around. Dan Richter picks up a spot there, but gets into the gas. It's a little bit too early coming off the turn, and then that thing spins around. It gets into the wall. So Jordan Schwartz has spun around a little bit earlier here. We'll take a look and see what happened to Jordan Schwartz. He's had a whole heck of a lot of trouble here in the last few laps, and that thing just too hot into the turn. And then, man, Dino Faldetta, great job for him of missing that. Then Dan Richter comes by and then spins. It looked like Rory Martin might have come around as well. This Dino Faldetta here, he's going to do a good job here, just sliding through, doesn't panic. Nice shift of a lane there and gets through. So good heads-up move by Dino Faldetta, picking up a spot there. Rory Martin and Colin Madiak here battling for position. Look at that, man. Oh, a little contact there. Rory Martin and Colin Madiak. Oh, man, Rory Martin there gets into the gas, gets that thing sideways. And we'll go on board here. There's a little bit of a kiss here coming through. Little kiss right there by Rory Martin on his way through. He's going to get into the gas, lose the back end of this a little bit, but does a great job catching it. Look at that, working that wheel. Thomas Golem now pressuring Paul Holt. Paul Holt there misses that turn, and Thomas Golem's going to be able to take that position. So Paul Holt had a little bit of trouble here, and Thomas Golem now moves up to the 4th position. Paul Holt back to 5th, and we'll take a look at Paul Holt here and see what happened. Paul Holt entering the turn, Thomas Golem just behind him, and he missed that turn right there. Missed the turn, and then Thomas going to get by on that right side and take over the 4th position. Paul Holt now back to 5th. Take a look at Fabio Zerbato here running in the 7th position. In good action-packed, clean race too, man. Very, very impressive so far. Very clean race. Guys, their problems are pretty much self-induced. But not too bad. We've seen one guy smack the wall, but other than that, most guys have gotten the thing straight back up without any damage or any major issues. Now looking pretty solid here for Fabio running in the 7th position. Rory Martin still having a battle with Colin Madiak. This is P9, P10. Kalamadiak running in that 10th position. Still wanting to get that spot back. Probably wanting to return that favor there. Go on board here, side-by-side view. Looking ahead out of the front of Kalamadiak's machine at Rory Martin. In good side-by-side view here. You're looking at 9th and 10th. Rory Martin in that top left screen, and then on board with P10 as Kalamadiak. I have a feeling, man, that cat-mouse game is going to be playing out all night long. You see Rory Martin there getting a little bit loose. Kalamadiak has a run. A little bit loose there for Rory Martin. And Kalamadiak, good run, but he's on the outside and does a great job of getting by. So, wow, what a sequence of events right there, huh? Rory Martin now back to the 10th position, and Kalamadiak was there to pounce. Take a look at this. Rory Martin gets a little bit squirrely here. A little bit, take a look another way. Take a look at Rory Martin here. Going to get a little bit squirrely coming off the turn, and does a great job. We saw him doing that a little bit earlier too, and this time it's going to cost him a spot here. So Kalamadiak there hounded him. Good to see he gets a little bit loose right there. Many does a great job of hanging on to that, but Kalamadiak there ready to take advantage of that. Drag race down into the turn, and Kalamadiak beats him into the turn. Rory locks up the brakes, and he's having some issues here, maybe some handling issues right now going on with that machine. How about this? Riccardo Morelli here trying to pick up a spot. Oh, no! So Lorenzo Capellini comes around. Lorenzo Capellini has spun that machine. He was in P2. Here we'll take a look. Capellini was working on P1, and he misses the turn, comes around, and almost gets taken out. Look at that heads up move by Riccardo Morelli. That is a gangster move right there. Riccardo Morelli heads up move. Take a look at this is Lorenzo Capellini, loses the car here, and then Morelli heads up move, gets around. What a great pass. We're going to go on board here with Morelli. Watch this, man. This is just thinking, split-second decision. Almost like closing your eyes and guessing where you're going to go, but he picks up that spot. So Riccardo Morelli now in P2, and Lorenzo Capellini back to P3. Renzo Finetto here trying to pick up some spots, and he gets into the gas there a little bit too early. Oh, nothing shoots into the wall. My gosh, man. Lorenzo Finetto has a hard lick there with the wall, and he's lost some pieces. He's definitely going to have to come down pit lane. So Lorenzo Finetto on board here with him. Watch this. He comes off this turn, just gets into the gas a little bit too quickly, and the thing spins around and then straight into the wall. My heavens. A lot of damage for him. Going to have to get that thing on pit lane and get some service. Take a look at Rory Martin here running in the 10th position. Rick Vanderveld in here running in 8th, having a good run. Pretty quiet here so far for him. I think the battle just had him heating up here a little bit as Fabio Zerbato here trying to close in on Michael Brooks. On board here with Fabio Zerbato. Nice tight section of the track here. Pretty solid effort here for Fabio right now, running in P7. Michael Brooks up ahead in P6. Take a look at Michael Brooks here running in the 6th position. Look at this, man. Valerio Margarito joining us in here. How about that, man? Dennis Van de Ven here having some issues, getting some reports that he's come off track, and he comes off track there and then gets back in the gas, and I think he spins this car. Well, he's come around that 84 car, so tough break there for him. A lot of trouble there for him, and he's in an awkward position right now, too. My heavens. We'll take a look here. He just misses this turn. You see that? And one thing leads to another. Tries to get back in the gas, and then the back end comes around. He is all over the place here. He's trying to figure out what's the easiest way of getting back this thing straightened back up. And I think Colin Madiak might have come around too. Colin Madiak here had raced Rory Martin here for position, and then comes around. Gets into the wall, so tough break there for him. Rory Martin here is now going to climb back here up onto the back of Colin Madiak and take that position back. So now Rory Martin. Oh, no! Little contact. Maybe that was a little payback right there as Rory Martin jumping the curb. I haven't. I got to look at this again. This is a little payback here. Rory Martin is just saying, hey, I'm going to get you back here. Watch this. He's going to come in here. He's going to give him a little bit of a kiss right there. Little smooch. And then jumps the curb. I thought he had that spot there for a second, but he gave it back, I think, to Colin Madiak. And then it gets worse for Rory Martin, as I think he's going to end up coming around. We look here as Rory Martin, this is a little bit further up in the sequence. Rory Martin again in the gas a little bit too early, and then that thing comes around and he smacks the wall. Michael Brooks here running in the 5th position. But if you take a look out of the back of his machine, Fabio Zerbato back there. Lorenzo Finetto in the 16th position is the car behind him. But Fabio Zerbato here trying to close in. Man, he almost backed the wall right there. Michael Brooks almost made contact with the wall. I don't know how to respond to that. Nitro Toga. I hope the heavens that you are friends with Lorenzo Capellini. Oh, Lorenzo. Capellini is probably going to want to have a chance to chat with Nitro Toga after the race there. A little bit of having a little fun with him. Michael Brooks running in P6 here. We'll take a look at our race leader, Cliff Van de Ven. It has been pretty much no nonsense for him, other than maybe some lap traffic. He's got almost a 5-second lead over Riccardo Morelli. Lorenzo Capellini shown in 3rd. Thomas Gowom is 4th. Paul Holt running in the 5th position. Checking on Paul Holt here, running in P5. He's got Lorenzo Capellini, Thomas Gowom. That is a battle right there. Dan Richter just in front of those guys. He's a lap car as those guys go by. Look at this. This is some tight racing here. This is 3, 4, and 5 all staring you right there in the face. Thomas Gowom in P3 leading this charge as Lorenzo Capellini all over the back of him right now, looking out of the back of Thomas Gowom's machine at Lorenzo Capellini and Paul Holt. That is 3, 4, and 5. That is some very, very tight racing. All it takes is one slip up by one of these guys, and the other guy is going to pounce. Capellini there hounding Thomas Gowom. He's peeking out there trying to make a pass, and it's side by side. Man, that is a very difficult place to make a pass, too. My heavens, man. It's side-by-side action here. Capellini picking up that spot as Gowom now has a challenge from Paul Holt. Another difficult place to make a turn or to make a pass. As now Capellini moving up to the 3rd position. That was a great, great sequence right there. Now, probably not for Thomas Gowom, but we'll take a look at this pass again. Into the chicane. Capellini on the outside picking up this spot here. And then looking out of the back of his machine, Paul Holt capitalizing. Going down to the inside here, coming into the turn, and picks up this spot. So Paul Holt picking up a position. Thomas Golom now back to the 5th position. Oh, Paul Holt has a little trouble there. Thomas Golom gets back by. I don't think that battle's going away here. Paul Holt and Thomas Golom. Here, take a look here. Paul Holt, look at this action here as Capolini gets by. Paul Holt, they're almost off the track here, taking that spot. Coming out of the turn is Paul Holt. Has a little trouble right there. Thomas Golom gets that spot back. But then take a look at this a little bit later here. Thomas Golom having some trouble there with the turn. And Paul Holt capitalizing on that and taking that spot back. So now back up to the 4th position. How about that? Jordan Schwartz here with the race leader. By him. Oh, Jordan Schwartz there gets sideways. Didn't have a front wing. Oh, he gets into the race leader. My heavens. Lorenzo Capolini and Jordan Schwartz get together. Jordan Schwartz here doesn't have a front wing, is trying to get around here, maybe get out of the way, but nonetheless gets into Lorenzo Capolini and causes him a little bit of damage and tightens that back up. Oh my gosh, a lap car. Thomas Golom, wow, man, that was crazy right there. We're going board here with Thomas Golom. He sees, there's Jordan Schwartz there. Almost DOA on the track as those guys go by. Ricardo Morelli. Ricardo Morelli running in the 2nd position. Oh, man, he missed that turn and got into the wall. My heavens, man, did you see that hard right contact? Right side contact for that machine. That thing just got loose on him and took off. Watch this. Thing just gets loose right here. He gets on the rumble strips. We call that the zebra. And then he gets slams into the wall. Hard right side contact. Thomas Golom wants another piece of Paul Holt here. Little drag race down the stretch. Into the turn. We got a right-hander here coming up. And he muscles his way through. Paul Holt now back to the 5th position. Good battling there, huh? Colin Madiak has made a pit stop here, so he's given up some spots. Dino Faldetta up to the 11th position. You look at here, Dennis Vandeven and Jordan Schwartz for the 13th position, and Dennis Vandeven going to get by, take over P13. Jordan Schwartz now back to 14th. Jordan had an eventful night, to say the least. He is missing the front wing on that car, and that thing cannot be handling right. Renzo Finetto here trying to pick up a spot. Renzo Finetto in 16th, trying to pick up the 15th position, getting around Dan Richter. Dan Richter has had a one doozy of an evening here. He's got very, very busy for him. Cliff Vandeven continuing the lead. Colin Madiak, after making pit stop here, now in 12th position, just behind him on the track. Look at Ricardo Morelli bouncing back here, hopefully after making some hard right side contact with that machine. Running in 2nd. Renzo Capolini now in 3rd. Thomas Golom 4th. Paul Holt in 5th. Take a look at Michael Brooks here running in the 6th position. Rick Vandervelden in P7. Just behind him. Take a look at Rick Vandervelden running in 7th position. Trying to close in on that machine of Michael Brooks. Got some lap traffic just ahead. This could tighten things up here between P6, P7. Jordan Schwartz there, lap traffic just ahead, and that is tightening up, man. I'll tell you what, that is getting tight as Jordan Schwartz comes around. So tightening things back up here with, we got, I think, Thomas Golem on pit lane here. So Thomas Golem making a pit stop. Taking some services, Thomas Golem, and we got a Cliff Vandeven here weaving his way through some lap traffic. Thomas Golem now finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. I gotta wonder if some of these guys are gonna start making pit stops here. We have just under 30 minutes left to go. Cliff Vandeven is the race leader, and that car seems to start getting a little skatey right now. Got a good, comfortable lead, about a 9.5 second lead. Keep yourself clean here. Coming up on some lap traffic here, Dino Faldetta. Running in the 10th position, lets him by. Actually, not yet. So Dino Faldetta giving him a lot of room down the front stretch. Giving him a lot of room, and that is just good driving sense right there. Dino Faldetta understands that, hey, I got the leader coming. I do not want to have a negative impact on this race. I got a good 10th place car right now, and there is no sense in trying to race him hard and maintaining that lead lap position. Colin Madiak in 11th is closing in on Dino Faldetta. Now Colin Madiak had made a pit stop here. Looking out of the front of Colin Madiak's machine at Dino Faldetta. He's made a pit stop. Might have a little bit faster car than Dino. Jordan Schwartz finally bringing that car in to get a wing. Those guys have been standing out there holding that wing for him for forever, so he's now on pit lane getting some service done. Cliff Vandeven is the race leader here. Take a look at Lorenzo Finetto here. He's climbed up to the 14th position. The guy's making some pit stops here. Thomas Golem now moving his way back up to 6th position, I believe. He is 7th now. Like he is in the 7th position. Ahead of him is Lorenzo Capellini running in the 6th spot. Colin Madiak has caught Dino Faldetta. Dino Faldetta, I think, comes off track. Has a little trouble there. I think Dino Faldetta missed the turn. Not sure what happened there. Dino, like he maybe came down pit lane. I'm not sure. Yeah, he did come down pit lane. How about that? I thought he came off track there, but he did come off track. He came down pit lane. So Dino Faldetta on pit lane here, taking some service. Lorenzo Capellini. Now things tightening up for him. Looking out of the back of his machine, Thomas Golem just behind him. Capellini running in the 5th position. Thomas Golem running in 6th. Guys making pit stops here. Shuffling up the order a little bit. Cliff Vandeven, our race leader here, making a pit stop. So Cliff Vandeven, the race leader, pitting. Michael Brooks out on track, and Rick Vandervelden here trying to pick up that spot as Rick Vandervelden gets on the brakes hard as Michael Brooks Cliff Vandeven finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. Question is he going to be able to maintain the race lead once he gets back out on the track here? Or is he going to lose that race lead? I think he's going to be good here. Does look like that's the case, though. Cliff Vandeven, the race leader, looking in that lower right frame as Michael Brooks running in the 2nd position. Very tight battle there for him. We'll take a look at that battle. There's Michael Brooks running in 7th. Oh, excuse me, 2nd position, and he makes a little bit of contact with the wall. Ricardo Morelli and Rick Vandervelden. This is a good three-way battle here. Looking out of the front of Ricardo Morelli's machine at Rick Vandervelden. Michael Brooks running in the second position. Vandervelden in P3 on board with our fourth place car, Ricardo Morelli. And a good three-way battle here. 2, 3, and 4 you're looking at. Don't forget about Lorenzo Capellini. He is in this mix as well, and he's got a fast car. He is climbing up on the back of these three. How about that, man? You could not put a piece of paper between 2 through 5. And Thomas Golwam is going to end up being in this mix as well. He is in the 6th position, climbing up on the back of these guys too. Got a couple of those guys peel off the track, go down pit lane. Michael Brooks, Rick Vandervelden peeled off the track to come down pit lane. See Michael Brooks tucking into his pit stall there. Vandervelden also on pit lane. As you see Michael Brooks finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track as Cliff Vandeven having a little trouble there with some lap traffic. Looked like Rory Martin maybe getting on the brakes pretty hard. Running in P10. It's been all Cliff Vandeven here today. I mean, from the start of the race, 23 minutes left to go. A lot of time left here. But I think right now with a 15-second lead, he is looking solid. And, aside from any mistakes that he might make or worst case scenario, getting into somebody else, getting into somebody that may spin in front of him, he is looking pretty solid here for a race victory, I believe. Capellini here trying to pick up P2. It looks like Ricardo Morelli has some trouble there as Capellini gets by. See what happened here out of the front of Capellini's machine, and Morelli has to tuck back in. He had a little bit of trouble there with that chicane. Now Capellini takes P2 as Ricardo Morelli has to move back to P3. We'll go here and take a look at Morelli. Watch this. He's just going to end up missing the turn, missing the chicane, and it's going to cost him a spot. So he's got Lorenzo Capellini all over the back of him. This is a little bit earlier here, a little bit of a replay, as Morelli probably understands that, oh, see, there's where he missed that. So he just missed that, gets into the wall, does a good job of hanging on to that, but loses that position. Cliff Vandeven continuing the lead. And Dennis Vandeven, I think, might have had some trouble here. Some word that he's had a little spin. And, getting in. He just maybe downshifts. And the back end of that car comes around. That is not a getting on the brakes type of thing right there. That is downshifting, causing the back end of that car to break loose. Comes around. Does a good job of getting that thing straightened back up. But nonetheless, tough break there for him. Lorenzo Finetto. He's running in the 14th position. And again, same idea. I think just downshifting and then breaks the back end of that loose. Gets the car straightened back up. Doesn't get into the wall or anything. Maintains P14. Take a look at Michael Brooks here after making pit stop. Running in the 5th position. Michael Brooks is about 37 seconds, almost 38 seconds off the race lead. Got a little work to do to catch up to P4. Rick Vandervelden here running in the 7th position. Having a pretty good run here for him. Top 10 run so far. Take a look at the current standings here. 28 laps in. Cliff Vandeven the leader. Lorenzo Capellini P2. Ricardo Morelli, Thomas Golwam, Michael Brooks, Paul Holt Rick Vandervelden, Fabio Zerbato, Colin Madiak, and Rory Martin rounding out the top 10. Well, Cliff Vanderven having a great race. My heavens, man. Just a fantastic race here for him. 19 minutes left to go. This thing has been action-packed from the start. Jordan Schwartz here might have come around, so indicating maybe a spin here by Jordan Schwartz, as he has had an eventful evening, to say the least, in that Camel sponsored machine. That's a Case sponsored machine, not Camel. So got that thing straightened back up, didn't get into anything, but nonetheless running in the 16th position, having a pretty challenging night here tonight. Take a look at distance between P1 P2. Vanderven a 15-second lead over Lorenzo Capellini, who's running in the second position. Vanderven here starting to roll up on some lap traffic. 4 lap traffic here, so another car a lap down. Take a look at Lorenzo Capellini and where he's at here. He's running in the second position, trying to do what he can here in the limited amount of time left to close in on Cliff Vanderven. And I think my thought process would be, hey, look, I've got a good P2 car right now, and there's no sense in messing that up. But if I can catch up to the race leader, I'm certainly going to do it, but I want to try to maintain where I'm at. Pay attention to what's coming up behind me, maybe Riccardo Morelli running in P3, but right now, Capellini's got a good second-place car, and it does look like he might be extending that lead over our third-place car, and this is Riccardo Morelli running in the third position. Thomas Golom running in the fourth spot. Having a pretty good night. And he's our points leader coming into tonight as well. So something to think about here and having a solid night. And we'll take a look at this season standings coming into tonight. Thomas Golom, 179 points. Michael Brooks, 171. Colin Madiak in third. Paul Holt comes in tonight in the fourth position. Cliff Vanderven in fifth, but a race win tonight would definitely propel him up the charts. Lapadula, Zerbato, Cameron Martin, Capellini, Vanderven. That's Dennis Vanderven rounding out the top 10. And 16 minutes left to go, and we're taking a look at Thomas Golom here. We'll get a look at Michael Brooks. Got Paul Holt there just behind him. That's a tight battle there. Paul Holt and Michael Brooks having a good battle here for the fifth spot. We've seen these guys battling for a while now as we look out of the back of Michael Brooks' machine at Paul Holt running in the sixth position. Paul Holt has a good run down the front stretch here. He is looking to get around Michael Brooks. He's got that preferred line, I think, maybe coming into the chicane. Oh, trying to do a little crossover move. Michael Brooks slamming the door. Slamming the door on on Paul Holt. Paul Holt looked like he was just trying to inch his way through and not able to pick up that spot. But I'll tell you what, he is all over the back of Michael Brooks right now. He wants to get around. He is looking for that spot to pull off a pass. Michael Brooks got to be getting into his head a little bit. Good tight battle there. My heavens, man. This is some great racing. Some great racing here. As good a racing as we've seen all season long. Look at this side by side here, and they got a little bit of a lap car right in front of them too. On board there with Paul Holt. And we got some problems there. It looks like Paul Holt has come off track. My heavens. Michael Brooks trying to get around some lap traffic, so Paul Holt's had some trouble. And that battle for P5 is over. What in the world happened? I was doing a side-by-side view. Take a look here as Paul Holt he tried to inch his way through and got into the lap car. He got into the lap car. Yeah, we'll take a look at this again. So Paul Holt, here's the Lorenzo Fanato just ahead. Paul Holt trying to inch his way through. Looks like he's got Michael Brooks cleared. He misses this turn in a huge way. And he gets into Lorenzo Fanato and he comes around and Michael Brooks just eases his way back on through. Wow. With this is Michael Brooks, so he sees Paul Holt there coming around just in front of him. My God, man. How about that? And now Paul Holt's going to end up losing another position. Vandervelden here was just ready to capitalize. We're on board here with Vandervelden. As he capitalized, you see Paul Holt there on the chicane trying to get the thing straight back up. Look at that. Paul Holt just gets into this turn way too hot. Look at that, man. That thing is sideways right there. And then Michael Brooks easing on through. Gaining that position back. Now, he had a little trouble there with Lorenzo Fanato getting around him. But, man, just patient. He didn't lose his composure. Things just got crazy in a hurry right there. Let's see if we can't jump on board here. That's George Schwartz. He's looking at that mess. Not the guy I wanted to get there, but you get the idea. I'm not perfect. I'm darn close. Cliff Vanderman, talking about perfect. I mean, he's been absolutely flawless here tonight. I'm not trying to jinx the guy or anything, but, man, this guy has been putting him up and putting him down. But I'll tell you, the lead that he's garnered, the 15-second lead, has really not increased. So Papolini has been able to kind of maintain that gap. But that's not going to be enough here. You got just a little over 11 minutes left to go, and that's not going to be enough to close in on Cliff Vanderman. Dan Richter here and Lorenzo Fanato battling for a position. This is for the 14th spot as Dan Richter trying to pick up that spot. And Fanato here looked like he backed off. I'm not sure what happened there. But, we'll take a look at this again. It looked like Fanato just absolutely got on the brakes right there. Maybe there was some warping. Oh, he just did not. Maybe he got back up on the track and got out of the gas. But Dan Richter gets that spot. Now Fanato closing back in on Dan Richter here. So Dan Richter has had an eventful night, to say the least. It's a tough track. The Fanato here closing back in. This is for the 14th position. In drag race here, down the straight as Fanato gets by, has a good run and gets by Dan Richter and takes that spot back. So Dan Richter now back to 15th as Fanato moves back up to 14th. This has been an eventful race. That's for sure. Take a look at Fabio Zerbato. Right now running in the 8th position. Got a little bit of lap traffic in front of him. But having a good top 10 run here tonight. He gets around the lap car. And that's just good race sense right there from Dan Richter. I've seen Dan Richter drive a lot of laps here in not only Indy cars, but also stock cars. And that guy just has a good head on his shoulders. He knows he might make some mistakes now and again. This is certainly a little bit outside his wheelhouse as far as the Indy cars are going, and this track being as challenging as it is. But nonetheless, he doesn't use his lose that driver's sense. Has a sense, track awareness that is really not seen in a lot of drivers. But Fanatec picking up that spot there, or Fanatec having a good run here. Yes, that's Zerbato. Sorry about that. Zerbato there, as I was just bragging about him here in the 8th position. He comes around a little bit. Trying to get by, I think that is Zerbato. Or Lorenzo Fanatec. And there's a couple Lorenzos. There's a Lorenzo, there's a Fabio. There's a clueless broadcaster. Dino Faldetta and David DiPoli having a little disagreement. Oh, no! DiPoli got into Faldetta. This. That's contact there. Dino Faldetta gets on the losing end of this battle, that's for sure. Now he comes off track. And there is that David DiPoli just behind him. So David DiPoli gets into Dino Faldetta coming into the turn here. Watch this, just a little bit of contact right there. Gets him a little squirrely. And comes off track. Dino does a good job of getting back in the gas there and maintaining that position. I don't know what's happened to David DiPoli. I think things have gotten worse for him. There he is. Looks like he's gotten into the wall here. We'll see what happened. He's trying to get this spot back from Dino Faldetta. Ew, man, that thing came around on him in a hurry. Man, that thing just snapped around on him. Oh, my God. David DiPoli here, I don't know. He just comes around. This thing just gets away from him. It's hard into the wall. And then he's going to back this thing into the tire barrier there. Paul Holt trying to pick up a spot. Spinning going on in front of him. Looked like Van der Velden involved maybe. There's Dino Faldetta. See what happened to Rick Van der Velden. No, Faldetta there missed that turn. I think he just misjudged that. Van der Velden comes around. And Dennis Van der Ven gets by. Watch this out of the front of Paul Holt's machine as Rick Van der Velden gives up a spot as he comes around. That is not what he needed to see late in this race. That is for the 6th position as Paul Holt takes over 6th. Well, we got about a little under 6 minutes left to go, and we got some royalty that's just joined us there. How about that? Elder Mueller joining us. I can't even believe that, man. Broadcasting great races every day. Thank you so much, Elder. Good buddy of mine from Brazil, the land of sun and Carnival. I still haven't gotten my tickets for Carnival. I don't know what's going on. Still waiting for those. Cliff Van der Ven gets by some lap traffic. Good to see you, Elder, as always. Lorenzo Fanatec here running in the 14th position. Oh, trying to come through that chicane, and he comes around. He's going to end up losing a position. Dan Ritter gets by. Now Fanatec getting back out on track in 15th. Ricardo Morelli and Thomas Golwam here battling for position. This is for, oh no, Morelli misses that turn. Morelli misses that turn. That was for P3. Morelli comes off track and misses that turn, and oh man, things get bad. Go from bad to worse. And now he is trying to get this thing straightened back up, and he is in P4. He came all the way around. Ricardo Morelli comes in, misses this turn. You see this thing just gets loose. He catches it, does a good job of catching it, but Thomas Golwam there to take advantage, and then he tries to get back into gas. Oh, the thing comes around on him, not all the way around, but nonetheless. Yeah, Thomas Golwam there ready to pounce. Really having a trouble there. A little squirrely. Good job there by Thomas Golwam getting back out around and maintaining his composure as he sees Morelli spinning in his rearview mirror. Dennis Vandeven and Dino Faldetta having a battle here for the 11th position. Drag race there as preferred line goes to Dennis Vandeven entering this turn. Takes that spot, so now up to 11th. Dino Faldetta back to the 12th position. Right now it is all Cliff Vandeven. This guy has led from start to finish. Well, not quite finished yet. Got 3 minutes left to go. But this guy has really been on point tonight here at Montreal. Capellini not able to chip into that lead. As a matter of fact, has fallen a little bit further back. Running in the 2nd position. He is trying now just to kind of hold on, maintain that spot, hold on to 2nd. Thomas Golwam in 3rd. Got a little bit of a buffer there, assuming you don't have some trouble like that. He sees Jordan Schwartz there come around. Jordan Schwartz has had an eventful night, that is for sure. Jordan Schwartz here going to miss this turn. Come around, get down into this grass here. Oh, man, right there. That was close for Lorenzo Capellini. That could have been disaster for him. Capellini now back out on track here. Thomas Golwam has that car in the 3rd position. Good P3 here for him so far. Michael Brooks running in the 4th position. Ricardo Morelli in 5th as we start to wind down this race. I think right now it is Cliff Vandeven's race to lose. He has got a nice, comfortable lead on the pack. Oh, look at that, eh? Look at that. What is on there? TurnLeftTV? Oh, I'll be darned. We might be rooting for the right guy. Might be rooting for the right guy. I don't know. Is Cliff Vandeven looking pretty solid here with a 24-second lead over Lorenzo Capellini. Preston Hassel joining us in the chat here with just a little bit of time left. Good to see Preston out. Always watch that on replay. Capellini there driving that thing like he stole it here, still here on the last lap. He's still probably feeling pretty comfortable. Is he go? Man, he almost comes around. My heavens. He's driving that thing like he's racing for position. as this is going to do it for him, I'm sure. As Cliff Vandeven going to end up taking home this victory. So Cliff Vandeven gets a huge race win here at Montreal. And that guy was dominant. My heavens, was he dominant tonight. So Cliff Vandeven gets a huge race win, and the second place goes to Lorenzo Capellini. Finishes in the second position. That was a huge race win for him, man. And the dominating performance by Cliff Vandeven. That's exactly what he needed. Thomas Golomb finishes in the third position. So a great win there for Cliff Vandeven. Good dominating performance there for him. Michael Brooks finishes in the third position. Ricardo Morelli, P5. Paul Holt, P6. Rick Vandervelden, P7. Fabio Zerbeto, P8. Colin Madiak finishes in the ninth position. Rory Martin rounding out the top 10. In great race there. Great racing. Had some challenges, that's for sure, but all in all, very, very solid race night here. We'll take a look at our race results. Cliff Vandeven gets a huge race win. Lorenzo Capellini second. Thomas Golomb finishes in the third position. Michael Brooks finishes in fourth. Ricardo Morelli finishes in the fifth position. Paul Holt sixth. Rick Vandervelden finishes in seventh. Fabio Zerbeto finishes in eighth. Colin Madiak finishes in the ninth position. Rory Martin finishes in 10th. In 11th is Dennis Vandeven. Dino Faldetta finishes in the 12th position. David DePoli finishes in 13th. Dan Richter finishes in 14th. Lorenzo Finetto finishes in 15th. And Jordan Schwartz finishes in 16th. So congratulations to Cliff Vandeven on a huge race win here at Montreal. My heavens, man, this was a dominating performance. Guy didn't come to, he said, I came here to kick butt and chew gum, and I'm all out of chewing gum. So a great job to Cliff, and we'll get some guys up in the booth and have a chat with them. And a really solid race there for Sim Racing Mania here tonight, man. What a great performance they put on for the fans. Suggest to you we'll probably see a little chat going on in a chat session. So, and we'll get booted up here and get some live interviews going on. we'll jump up here in the booth and get these guys have a little interview with some of the folks. All right, joining us up here in the booth, we got Michael Brooks, Fabio Zerbato, Colin Badiak, Thomas Golem as well.
Hi, Heath.
Hi, Heath.
Hello.
Well, I want to talk to Thomas here first. You got a good P3 run here tonight. Talk a little bit about this track and how challenging it is, but also, man, I think it was a pretty clean race all in all for the most part.
Yeah. First of all, this track is tricky. It was tricky for me in qualifications because mostly I practiced race stints during the week. So I was feeling just better with race fuel than with quali fuel. So quali wasn't good for me. I was P6. Then my strategy for the race was to stay safe, not pushing too hard. Just stay safe. I'm leading the championship, so my goal was to bring as much points as I can without crashing, without any risk. So yeah, I was focusing to not crash. First part of the race was I was stuck behind Paul Holt for a while. We were battling for about 10 laps or something like that. I was just waiting for him to make a mistake, and it worked. I just put a pressure on him. He made a mistake in last chicane. I overtook him. Then, to be honest, the race was just very boring for me at this moment. Because I was in front of Paul, behind Lorenzo. Gap between us was nice, so I was safe. Then Lorenzo crashed. I overtook him. We battled for a while, and I think the key to my result was to pit earlier, undercut guys, especially Paul Holt. That worked brilliantly. After pit stop, I was 10 seconds in front of him. So then my race was just to finish and hoping for podium was just like come on, Ricciardo crash. And at last laps, I think Ricciardo spun twice, Ricciardo Morelli, and that's how I ended in P3. So yeah, it was a clean race for me, very very good. But I have to say it was very very hard, physically hard. I'm very tired, I'm sweating, and I think it was the hardest race in the series for me.
Man, I'm about ready to throw you what we call a crying towel.
What's that?
A crying towel? It's when you put over your face when you're shedding tears.
Yeah. When I saw Ricciardo spun, I was like, oof. I can get this podium, and I was hoping, to be honest, for Michael to get Ricciardo also, because I saw that Lorenzo Capellini and Ricciardo Morelli had a problem with tire management. They locked up multiple times. They had problems with rear tires also. So I was thinking, like, at the end of the stint they will have problems, and they had. Probably me and Michael was driving very safe to save tires, to be consistent, and I think it worked. It was very good race also for Michael. He ended right behind me.
Yeah, Michael, let's bounce off that a little bit. You had some pretty good battles on the track. Talk about how your race went. You ended up with a good P4 finish, but you certainly had to earn that tonight.
Hi, Heath. Yeah, I'm pretty much thrilled to be as high as I was. Like, I would have been happy just to finish the race without spinning, let alone being as high as fourth. And like my qualifying lap, that was the best lap I'd ever done so far. Like, I'm still nowhere near achieving that, but I was really happy with that lap, and I even beat Thomas in quali a little bit. But as the race started, I knew about everyone around me was quicker, like Paul, Ricciardo, the other Vandevin, his name escapes me. I think it's the other one. They were all faster than me. They kept on making mistakes, so I just kept on being safe and clean. And And also, like, I think I was one of the last guys to pit, so I did the opposite of setup pitting Rice to Thomas. I went very late, so I could have good tires for the end of the race, which really helped me, I think. And towards the end of the race, I think, like, I don't know if it was before or after the pit stops, I was battling with Paul Holt. Like, Paul Holt had an incident or something, and then he was catching up to me. And if he had a run on the back straight, and there was a back marker in front of me, and I was like, look, I'm just going to let him have the corner, because trying to go too wide into the bus, I was just asking for a crash. I was like, I'll give him the corner. But he only saw the back marker at the last second. But then that spooked him, so then he spun. I was like, well, I'll take the position back, thank you very much. And then towards the end of the race, I think Riccardo Morelli had some sort of incident. Thomas probably knows what better than I do. And he got, as I got near him, I saw he kept on locking up every single corner. And then when I got past him, he just whacked into the wall. So I think he just sort of gave me room to go on past. And then I was just trying not to make any mistakes. I think I had about 2-3 very close spins, but I managed to save it. And yeah, it was on the whole a fairly quiet race for me, but it was so stressful because I was managing the gap and trying not to make any silly mistakes. Because I'm thrilled with 4th place. I would have been happy with 8th tonight, but 4th is brilliant. So,
Fabio Zapata, you speaking of 8th place, you got a good 8th place finish here tonight. Talk a little bit about how your race went for you.
Okay, so I think I did my best on the qualify, so that was my position, and it was okay for me. At the start, I have a good battle with Rick van der Velden, and after lap 1, I did a mistake on the chicane, and I overtaken him by cutting the chicane. So I let him to pass because I think it was the fair thing to do. And then after that, Rick van der Velden did a couple of mistakes, and I was able to overtake him. And in the first part of the race, I saw that I was able to catch Michael, and I tried to push hard. But I don't remember what lap, maybe 50 lap. 15 lap. I had Lorenzo Finetto in front of me. He let me to pass. He had the blue flags, but I did a mistake on braking, so I lose a lot of time, and I lose also the way to catch Michael. After that mistake, I tried to finish the race in safe manner. So finally, 8th position. I think it's okay for me. I can't do better than that.
you had me sweating, Fabio. I was just waiting for you to catch me. Like, just go away, Fabio, please. Every lap.
Well, I don't know what happened in that moment, Michael. Maybe you had a little problem with tires. I noticed that I was able to come closer and closer to you every lap. Unfortunately, I did that mistake by lapping Lorenzo, and it's all to me.
I didn't actually see what happened. I think when I got past Lorenzo, he had oversteer coming out of the Wall of Champions. So I got quite lucky getting past him. But what did he actually do to you? Because I didn't see what happened.
If I understood right, I did a mistake on after second S corner. I don't remember the name and the number. He moved to the left and let me to pass. But I saw that and said, "Okay, thank you, Lorenzo." And at that moment, it was too late to brake, and I spun.
Well, I also want to talk. Okay, go ahead, Fabio.
Oh, I finished. Sorry.
I was going to talk to Colin about the battle that he had with Rory Martin. Man, that thing was pretty intense there for a while, and sort of bounce off that and talk about how your race went too.
Yeah, the battle with Rory was really frustrating because I knew I was way faster than him, and he decided multiple occasions to dive bomb me and really put the elbows out when the cars can't really take it, and it was really frustrating to put up with for the race. And I ended up damaging my car from him hitting me multiple occasions, and I was just trying to chase Fabio to the end of the race.
Well, you came away with a
Had
a,
to gas one lap. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just checked one thing in statistics from this race. What I think proved that our words are true. From drivers that finished the race on leader lap, Michael was the best on tires. I was second. So I think that's why we catched Riccardo Morelli, who was the worst driver on tires in this race. So I think the tire management was very important here. Very important to get a decent, stable pace during the stint.
So basically, I'm the Sergio Perez of Sim Racing Mania.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know who that is. I guess that guy.
He's an F1 driver for Racing Point or Force Indy. You might know him as. He's always been like godlike on his tire management.
Michael or Jenson Button.
I'll take Jenson Button. He's a world champion. Yeah,
Michael's got a picture of both of them in his room. Don't shine a UV light on it.
And I think this track, for me, when I was doing some, just sort of doing some screenshots, getting out the car and so forth, but it seemed like it's deceptive on how technical the track is. It's very, very high speed, but there's some really technical portions of the track. That was sort of my assessment. What do you guys feel about that?
Basically, this track is stop-and-go track, so you have straight and big braking zones. I think the hardest part of the track was probably turn 7. I think the exit of this turn is very, very hard. Car is very twitchy there. You can lose his rear very easily. Also, first 2 corners, they are not easy. I think that what saved my tires and maybe my race was to use second gear on the exit of turn 2 instead of first gear. I saw that multiple drivers, including Paul Holt, Riccardo Morelli and other drivers at the top were using first gear there, and I think killing their rear tires. So yeah, this track is very technical with long straight, but I think braking and getting most of the corner is very hard here.
I was using first gear throughout the race, Thomas, out of turn 2.
I wasn't using that because I just wanted to stay safe.
Oh yeah, I was sort of modulating the throttle doing it, but I found it gave me a bit of a boost to sort of keep the cars behind me.
Yeah, for me it was very hard to change to first gear there because when I was trying to downshift, I just was losing my rear end, so I didn't want to do that.
Well, next week here, you kind of got to do a little bit of a rerun or a revisit to Watkins Glen. Watch the thought process coming in with this sort of unexpected. I shouldn't say unexpected because you've known it's been coming for a while here, but it was not something that was planned originally when the schedule was made out. Sort of doing a rerun of Watkins Glen. How do you feel coming in, doing a second road course in a row?
So for anyone watching, we had to do a rerun of Watkins Glen because there was a bug with the car in Watkins Glen where, say you were very close behind another car, you would just massively lose rear downforce, and that's why lots of people spun in Watkins Glen the first time. And how me and Colin were like the only 2 people near, like sort of after me and Colin, there was like no one behind us basically because we were the only people who didn't encounter this. And so Watkins Glen's having to do it again, but I'm actually really looking forward to it because it's one of the fun. I think it might be my favorite track on the calendar actually because it's such a fun flowing track. You can really push there, unlike Montreal where you have to be so careful by comparison. Like, what do you think, Colin? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's about the only track that I feel comfortable pushing during the race. The car feels really planted through the corners because there's enough camber to complement the aero.
Yeah, but there is a disadvantage. This track needs a very low downforce. So in slower corners, you can lose his car very easily. There are some slow corners in middle sector. But yeah, this track is very fast. You can push. I think the goal there will be just to finish at the top, as in Montreal here. and then we'll go on Indy, where everything will can happen. It will be, I think, the most important race in the series, as we have double points there. So I think the goal is to survive Watkins Glen and go on Indy.
Well, we're taking a look at the current point standing after tonight's race, certainly before penalty points have been assessed. And you've got a 10-point lead over Michael coming into the next race. Colin, you're shown in third. Cliff Vandeven in fourth. Paul Holt now in fifth. Fabio sixth in points. Lorenzo Capellini seventh. Rory Martin eighth. Giacomo Lapadula ninth. And Riccardo Morelli rounding out the top 10. So maybe extending that lead a little bit over Michael Brooks coming into the next race.
Yeah, by 2 points. I think we should focus now on gaining points on Colin before Indy, because we know that Colin can be fast on ovals.
What?
Yeah, you can be fast on ovals, we know that. And lose as low amounts of points as we can to Cliff on Watkins Glen, because we know that Cliff is very fast on road courses, but he struggles a little bit on oval. So I think the goal is to have at least 15 points lead over Cliff, and I hope me and Michael will do a good job for the Sim Racing Mania team.
I think Lorenzo Capellini could be a dark horse for Watkins Glen, because he hasn't had the best of luck, but he's very fast. So if Lorenzo can beat Cliff, I think that'll make it closer for everybody.
Yeah, that's why I'm very happy with P3 today, because those points are very important now on road courses. But we have to remember that on Indy we have double points. So let's say 10 points lead is nothing. It can be lost.
It sounds to me like there's some side deals that are trying to be made here right now. I don't know how I'm going to interpret what Michael just said, but sounds like a little side deals going on.
But no, I just want Lorenzo to stop crashing. That's all he needs to do.
Wait, you guys have been using driver aids this whole time? Flipping clutch? Really? It's just been me, Cliff, and Dan who haven't. Are you serious?
Well, because I've learned from experience, Colin. The very first race in SRM I did, I think it was like a 1991 F1 car, and I was battling Richard Brooks, who wasn't able to race tonight, and he spun going into the final chicane at Suzuka, if you know that track, and I spun avoiding him, but then I stalled, so I'm not taking that risk again.
Yeah, but I think that those cars in real life have anti-stall, so it's like auto clutch in rFactor 2.
Well, hey, what a great race. Really was, all in all, I think one of the best races we've had this season, and looking forward to Watkins Glen next week, and then, of course, Indy the following week. And I know that's going to be kind of a home game for Colin, being that he's not too far away over in Ohio.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to sleep in and then drive to the track that morning, I guess.
Can we apply some balance to Colin to slow him down?
Nope.
Well, hey, good luck to you guys. And again, thanks so much for letting me broadcast your race. Love it. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Cliff as well. He was dominant tonight. No one could touch him. But
somebody needs to check his G fuel.
Yeah. He had loads of fuel left at the end of the race. I don't know how the hell he did it. I just checked. So he's insane.
Yeah, I was very close on fuel.
Yeah, but take care, everyone. And I look forward to watching the broadcast, Steve. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's the crew joining us up here in the booth. You can tell, you can really tell it was a good race from their perspective for the most part. I mean, a lot of positivity for the most part in that interview, and the guys feeling pretty good about tonight's race, and they should. I mean, it was a good race, very entertaining race, and those guys did a great job. So I'm also looking forward to watching the broadcast too. Well, don't forget, coming up on Friday, speaking of broadcasts, we'll be right back at it with the High Octane Racing League's Bushwhackers Series. Race number 3 in that Xfinity Series. So very fun track coming up. Phoenix, 120 laps. That will start. The stream will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm excited about this one. This is going to be a fantastic race, and you do not want to miss it. It'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV. Race number 3 from Phoenix in the Bushwhacker Series, High Octane Racing League's Premier Series. I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me here on the YouTube channel. As always, thank you for your patronage. I really appreciate it. And I'm honored that you would come out and watch these races here on TurnLeftTV. And thanks to all the subscribers as well. If you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to do so. Please hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to make a donation to TurnLeftTV, the link is right up in the banner of the channel. You can make a donation through PayPal. Very, very easy. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here. And then if you want to share my videos, you can share them with all your friends. Anywhere you can share YouTube videos on any social media platform, you're more than welcome to share my videos here at TurnLeftTV. And again, thank you so much for coming in and joining me for a little while and watching a great race tonight here with the IndyCar GT Series season, Sim Racing Mania style. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight here on TurnLeftTV. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. We'll see you Friday, huh? In the meantime, I'm out of here.